Yo, what's good, people? Welcome back to another episode of Levitation, the Sunday series. And listen, we got another one. So let's get into it. Have you ever been in a dark room for a long period of time that your eyes start to be able to adjust to the darkness? You even be able to start to see furniture and stuff in the darkness because your eyes have adjusted that much. And then out of nowhere, all of a sudden, someone turns the lights on. And when the lights get turned on, it literally hurts your eyes. So you immediately block the light and close your eyes and ask for the lights to get turned off. In that moment, we would rather be in darkness because that's what we're used to. This image is a reflection of how we can sometimes look spiritually. We've all fallen short of the glory of God. And when we fall, we are in darkness. 1 John chapter 1 verse 5, it says, "This is the message we heard from Jesus and now declare to you. God is light and there is no darkness in him at all." So because God has no darkness in him, whenever we fall short of his standard, we then are in darkness. But I want to make something very, very clear. Falling short isn't the issue. God is well aware that we all have fallen short and will continue to fall short of his standard. Falling into darkness isn't the issue. Where the problem comes in is when you get comfortable in darkness. Your spiritual eyes begin to adjust to the darkness. You become okay with seeing things the way that the world sees it. We can get so comfortable in darkness sometimes that we actually prefer it. So much so that the light becomes a threat to our comfort. And that's what a lot of us look like today. We don't mind a little bit of God in our lives, but too much of God, too much of light destroys our comfort. See, the reason why we don't like too much light is because it shows that we have insecurity. Too much light shows that we use sex as a coping mechanism. Too much light shows where we really run to for peace. And the darkness allows us to hide behind the false comfort of not seeing any of those areas that's really hurting. You know the saying, out of sight, out of mind. But that's nothing but the truth. The reason why some of us are so opposed to the light is because the light exposes those areas, whereas we would rather be comfortable in them. 1 John chapter 1 verse 6 through 7, it says, "So we are lying if we say we have fellowship with God, but go on living in spiritual darkness. We are not practicing the truth. But if we are living in the light, as God is in the light, then we have fellowship with each other, and the blood of Jesus, his son, cleanses us from all sin." See, the more that we're in the light, that's the more we're cleansed from darkness. And the interesting thing about light is wherever it shines, whatever it touches, that very thing starts to reflect that same light. It starts to lighten up. Look at this. In Exodus chapter 34, verses 28 through 29, it says, "Moses remained there on the mountain with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. And all that time he ate no bread and drank no water. And the Lord wrote the terms of the covenant, the 10 Commandments, on the stone tablets. When Moses came down from Mount Sinai carrying the 2 stone tablets inscribed with the terms of the covenant, he wasn't aware that his face had become radiant because he had spoken to the Lord." Moses had been in the presence of the Lord for so long that his face started to shine. That is what we're supposed to do in the world today. Be light. I got proof. In John chapter 8 verse 12, it says, "Jesus spoke to the people once more and said, 'I am the light of the world. If you follow me, you won't have to walk in darkness because you will have the light that leads to life.'" In that verse, Jesus himself is proclaiming that, look, I am the light. If you follow me, you won't have to walk in darkness. But it gets deeper. In Matthew chapter 5 verse 14, Jesus says, "You are the light of the world, like a city on a hilltop that cannot be hidden." In the first verse I read, Jesus says that I am the light. And then in the other chapter, he says that you are the light. It's an image and a reflection of Moses and God. Moses was in God's presence for so long that he himself started to shine light because of his connection to the source of light. Jesus is telling us is that as believers, we should not be getting comfortable in darkness, but we ourselves should be reflecting that light because the source of light is him, because we are following him. Our source of light comes from the source itself. The more we fellowship in the light, the more we live in the light, that's the more he shines and exposes the dark areas that's within us. And once we get exposed, it's going to be uncomfortable because some of us have adapted to the darkness. And so any exposure of light is going to disrupt your comfort. But when you're exposed, don't go running away because it's uncomfortable, but embrace it. Your eyes will adjust to the light. Once you start to adjust to the light and you start to dwell in that light, then we'll start to reflect that light to other people and guide others to the source. The more you stay in darkness, that's the more comfortable you're going to get in it. We have access to the light. We have to do the uncomfortable work of adjusting to the light, though. In order to reflect light, you got to stay long enough in it to adjust to it. So it's time to adjust. This is Levitation, where we're reaching our highest potential. Stay blessed.